Alright, so yeah, for some reason I decided to work on this again. Maybe because someone actually wanted to see how the rest of this goes. So, right now we're just doing the training missions. Where we, okay, here's something the game doesn't actually tell you, but if you notice, under the name Mobile Suit, there's a small orange bar. It's a kind of shield bar that exists on enemies, and I think you get it too when you actually have a shield. But right now I don't have one, because the Zaku shield on the shoulder doesn't count. It has to be when you're holding it. There you go. The most important thing that the game will probably ever tell you. Attack from the blind spot to win. Especially if you're using a machine gun, which generally sucks. So this is just a quick thing of me just blowing up all the suits in the training mode, and I try to get, creative with this last one, and I think I try to attack it with melee, because the amount of running around they require you to do is just ridiculous. Yep, here we go. Oh no, it noticed me. But of course you can't actually die in this, despite getting hit again there. It didn't cause any damage, so yeah. And there, I got shot basically in the back and didn't die, so yeah, this is definitely training.
Even a heavily armored mobile suit is vulnerable if attacked from the rear. Rather than approaching the enemy head-on, try finding a way to get them from behind.
Kick enemy butt from behind. Isn't that generally the direction from which you would kick someone in the butt? I mean, to do it from the front is impressive to be sure, but generally that involves hitting someone in the crotch, which is, it's not really, well, if you can hit somebody in the crotch, then why bother with the butt, is basically what it amounts to in a fight. So, now this is where it explains the sensors, something that would have been really important in the first stage. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, the radar isn't really worth anything in this game, as I've already mentioned. And yeah, thermal sensors can detect enemy heat sources in trees, primarily. Really, it's primarily in trees. So weird. And the sonar, which works in all sorts of situations, but there's some interference with sonar in situations where there's actually an ambient noise. In a cave, for example, the sonar doesn't seem to work as effectively, probably because noises are amplified too much to pinpoint, or something. I don't know. I don't know how it thinks sonar works. All I know is it doesn't work the way I think it's supposed to be. But anyway, first we have the tank hidden in the forest. We need the thermal sensors for it. Then the sonar picks up a suit behind the wall, which we have to wait for it to turn around before we can shoot it. And if you actually use your ears themselves, you can kind of hear its movement and turning around and all that. And then there's the last one that you're supposed to detect with the radar, but you'll just find it by looking. And the test will be over now. Excellent. Well, that was easy.
Always be aware of your surroundings and move quickly. Be careful not to let the enemy get behind you.
Alright, yeah, I kind of already went over that. If it works on them, it works on you. This is one of those kind of games. Back to the story.
With the aid of carpet bombing by the Gao attack carriers, we've caused extensive damage to New York.
That's not how you spell York.
All that's left to do now is to wipe out their remaining military strength.
And we'll leave that for someone else.
On the other side of the continent, our invasion force was advancing to California base, but has been stalled by the enemy's persistent resistance.
Thanks to your efforts, we have secured most of New York. All that is left to do is to take out the remaining forces.
I think my commander already mentioned that.
The North American operation has been proceeding according to plan. However, there are some areas of concern. For instance here.
Why are you repeating everything that my commander's saying? Aren't you supposed to be a higher up than him?
The troops attempting to secure California base are facing heavy resistance from the enemy's defense unit.
Yes. Again.
Reinforcements will be sent as soon as mop-up operations in New York are complete. In the meantime, we'll send your unit.
You know what? If you're gonna send me, don't even bother sending the reinforcements. I am sure that I can handle this. In fact, I will go ahead and handle this next mission by myself, thank you. Oh yeah, the heaviest defense line? Now you're just challenging me.
Your unit will succeed. The leader of the invasion force will give you details when you arrive. Over.
He'll probably say the same thing you two have said. Oh, simulator program has been added. Yep, there's the optional simulator. You can go in and do training and stuff. That's, yeah, that one's right there. It's just, you know, it's the new one. It's the easiest one in the game to beat, too. You have Char helping you for one. And for two, he doesn't even reach the enemy and fight them before you do.
Break through.
Mainly because you run, and he mostly walks.
My troops are attempting to break through the final defense line of California base. The enemy has set gun turrets in several crucial locations. They formed a perimeter to protect their base.
I'm yelling over the sounds of shells that you can't hear!
Besides, we're having a really hard time with their fighter copters. This has been a devastating blow for us. Our casualties are on the rise.
Fighter copters. Never heard that combination before. I'm intrigued.
That's why I've requested the support of a mobile suit unit. But I certainly hope your unit's war record is reliable.
Better than your spelling.
Well, never mind. Just get us through their defense line.
Notice that
I'm counting
you
on
at
you
the
to get
end
results.
there? Yeah, that's a mistake. Pretty minor, though.
Our allied troops attacking California base have found it tough to break the enemy's powerful defense line.
Yeah, I've heard that like 5 times now. Once from
We haven't
you.
even been able to provide adequate air support because of the presence of anti-aircraft units situated within the base.
We have air support?
Therefore, our mission is to infiltrate the enemy defense line at the assigned area and provide an opening for our allied troops.
Apparently right in the front door from all this reconnaissance footage I'm seeing. Yeah, we're not going to be attacking those things from the front. You'll find out why at the end of the
First
video.
stage of our plan, we will descend at a point just outside the enemy's air defense territory. This is where the enemy's defense line is weakest.
Okay, so I assume that we can't break through there because a
We'll
defense...
force our way through this area and position ourselves behind the enemy. While we attack from behind, our allied forces will advance across the defense line.
Okay, seriously, a defense line is supposed to protect the base. If we can just drop into the...
In order to camouflage our movements, our allied troops are expected to launch a diversionary frontal attack at the precise moment we break through the enemy defense line.
Have fun storming the castle!
I don't need to emphasize the fact that any delay in this operation will cause greater casualties to our allies. We must proceed quickly. Over.
If I move as fast as possible, I won't save any of them. They're completely useless here. Alright, destroy all gun turrets. If you approach from the rear or the sides, you won't be attacked. Set your route so that you can approach from the turret's blind spot, which the route information does not tell you. Pay attention to the terrain while changing sensors. Each sensor has its own characteristics, so switch them based on the terrain and enemy conditions. You'll be switching a lot between thermal and sonar here, because they're both useful. Sonar for detecting helicopters, and thermal when you're in the forest. And just like I said earlier, I'm doing this with one unit. And it happens to be the Saku 1 prototype, so it's the crappiest possible mobile suit that a person can use. Other than the actual construction test type. Which is not in the game, so, you know. Combine naval, air, and space base into one. Over 20 facilities. Ooh, 20. Defenses. The gun turrets are the final defense line. Wow, it's like they don't have mobile suit-sized sniper rifles or so. Oh, wait. We get those later. mainly from Type 61s and surface missile launchers. Again, not a threat from the front. The gun turrets should not be attacked from the front. Yeah, I'd say fixed position turrets might be a good idea to not shoot at from where they can shoot at you. Use fighter copters to effectively damage our allies. Do not let the ground action distract you from the enemy above. Ooh, ominous warning. You cannot use No crap! Really? I can't hit it with my axe. California base Allied attack forces. They received unexpected resistance from an enemy defense line. Okay, you guys really aren't paying much attention to what you're saying here. Blue Rower. Born on Side 1, making him a treacherous bastard to the Federation. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? But yeah, he's basically the main character, kinda. Except there really isn't a main character, so yeah. That's Chief Petty Officer Matt Austin, approximately 15 years older than the main character, and yet considered subordinate. Veteran among veterans. He's enough of a veteran to be a mobile suit piloting veteran in a war that has lasted approximately 2 months. Impressive. She was born on Side 3, age 19, assigned to the Fenrir right out of Academy. Red hair, assigned straight out of the Academy, Elite Forces. Why am I having flashbacks to Gundam Seed Destiny? Honestly, though, Hepner is pretty awesome later in the game. Under certain circumstances.
Avoid the front, proceed to the area least protected, and attack the gun turrets from behind.
I think it's about the 6th time I've heard that now.
Sounds like a straightforward plan.
Yes.
You must be prepared for any assault from above. Make sure you keep your eye out for their fighter copters.
No problem. I've got a sonar for that.
They could come around to our backside while we attack the gun turrets, so it's by no means an easy mission.
Yeah, right. I can usually do this mission without dying at all.
Fighter copters! There's nothing worse for ground troops than to be caught under an airstrike.
Usually I'd say yes, but we're kind of in
Since
giant
we're bound by
robots.
gravity, our mobile suit unit would be defenseless.
But it's also a giant robot.
Flies one by one and reduce the casualties to our allies.
That's a logical reason.
Attacking the gun turrets head-on is too dangerous, even for mobile suits.
Oh yes, I know.
I think we should avoid the front and find an alternate route.
Yeah, again, about the now 7th time I've heard that? Whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason I skipped the dialogue there, I made a bit of an error in the editing process. Basically, this stage introduces the new operator. Whenever you choose to have Hepner as a pilot, which will be possible from the next stage on, she's replaced by another character as the operator. You could pretty easily go through the entire game not using Hepner again after this. It's not really using Hepner as a pilot, so I got a lucky shot on that one. You'll see what I mean by that later. Alright, so that whole strength thing really isn't important, and I don't know why I keep doing it. Here I'm going just to the edge of the tree line to pick up enemies on the longest range of the thermal sensor, which interestingly enough is actually shorter than the range on the bazooka. So that's kinda convenient and also really weird at the same time. I'm getting good with these helicopter shots, I guess. Or at least lucky. Here I want to make sure I don't get caught in the middle of a... Yeah, exactly what just happened there. Now they're all after me. Maybe. Not very well. And this happens sometimes, too. You'll get a clear, obvious lock on an enemy, but because of some reason, when you kneel down to fire a bazooka or something of that nature, the game freaks out on you disables the lock-on, and then you have to keep trying again and again until you get the shot. And yet I'm still having no trouble with the helicopters here. That is so weird sometimes. Alright, you can actually see the tank up there, too, if you look closely. And another kill. Now, you might actually detect an enemy over there on the radar that was outside the circle of the sensors. You can visually pick up some enemies. Interestingly enough, your allies are able to see further than you. I may have mentioned that already, but I just want to make sure. Also, in the simulator stages, which I may show some of those later, but I'm mainly sticking to the storyline. In the simulator stages, it seems that the Lieutenant Colonel, who is not usable as a pilot in the game, but only in the simulators, or in the story, but only in the simulator, he seems to have an innate kind of sixth sense that he can see some enemies through walls or something. Now, the reason I was trying to use the radar there is because technically the radar is supposed to be able to see these things, because they're static targets and structures. Now, I should note that that was the only gun battery turned directly toward me of the three, so it's actually entirely possible for me to take out all three right here. But that whole you have to lock onto a target to shoot it thing can get kind of annoying when you're staring straight at a target and you can't shoot it. Yeah. And I'm just waiting to reload. It can automatically reload a weapon for me, but every so often it takes extra time. And awesome. First group of turrets down. 2 more to go. I'm just kind of running around looking for helicopters, tanks, things of that nature. Oh, hi, tank. Helicopter coming, and I turned the wrong direction. Leaving my back exposed, and yes, the helicopters can kill you with a single shot to the back. In fact, they can wear you down with the missiles, too, so they can kill you from the front. Which makes them a little more powerful than the average tank. Okay, how did that not get hit? Oh well. Alright, that one's done. I find it funny that the radar seems to work for the enemies and not for you. But, yeah. Look, another helicopter, and I think I can see the shadows of some tanks there in the distance. And now we'll shoot through a corner. And yes, we could have shot through the corner of the hill again. Right there. For some reason. I don't purport to understand physics. I didn't take that class in high school. I took chemistry. And advanced biology for some reason, despite not being that good at biology. Hi, missile. Ow. Time delayed jump there. I'm taking about 2 of the, I'd say, 5 hits that you could take here. You take 4 and then the 5th one will kill you, but, you know. Yeah, I think I got the timer. And now the tanks. And that's that. Now we just have a couple helicopters, a group of tanks, and turrets. The big group of turrets that you saw in that one picture, with like the 6 all pointed at one bridge. I don't even know what the logic behind that is. I mean, everyone's gonna go over that one bridge. I don't really know exactly how that makes any sense, but okay, whatever. And that one's down. Okay, that's weird. Can I actually shoot them through here? Yep, right through the corner of the cliff. Only beam weapons are supposed to be able to do that. It's not a joke, by the way. Beam weapons can shoot through anything. Which makes the gun cannon the most absurdly powerful mech in this entire game. Conveniently, the enemy doesn't know that beams can shoot through anything. But that's that. All targets destroyed.
Confirmed. Destruction of gun turret group.
We finally breached the enemy defense line. I thank you for your support.
You know,
Roger. We confirm advancement of Allied troops past the defense line.
All right. Mission complete. We'll pull back and await further orders.
Was my job even really necessary if you were able to advance far enough to be past the defense line while I'm blowing up turrets? I mean, as soon as I blow up a turret on one side or the other, you guys are pretty much clear.
Took advantage of our
I mean, those ones in the
and
middle?
overran other
Why
weakened
would you
areas,
even
thereby
bother? Why would you
collapsing the
go
rest of
over
the
that
enemy
bridge
defense
in the
line?
first
They've
place?
advanced to the next stage of the invasion.
Why would
We
you
will
go
soon
anywhere
join them in
near it?
capturing California base.
Oh well. How many points do I receive? 9.7k S rank. Excellent. Well, that's that.